Welcome to Business History. Today, we're diving into a big question. How did money destroy ancient Rome? Let's get into it. When people think about the fall of Rome, they imagine the usual scenes. Barbarians storming the gates, collapsing legions, emperors poisoned in marble halls. But empires don't just fall from outside attacks. The real collapse starts from within, and one of the strongest forces behind that collapse is always money. Rome didn't fall just because of barbarians or corruption. It fell because its money collapsed. And what happened back then still matters today for every modern country that thinks it can print money, play with interest rates, or manipulate debt without consequences. So let's rewind a bit. For centuries, the backbone of Rome's economy was the silver denarius. First minted around 211 BC, it was almost pure silver. Soldiers were paid with it, merchants demanded it, and ordinary people saved their wealth in it. The denarius wasn't just a coin, it was a symbol of trust. As Rome grew stronger, its money stayed strong. People trusted Rome, so they trusted its currency. But running an empire is insanely expensive. Armies, roads, aqueducts, wars. By the 2nd century AD, Rome was struggling on every front. Expenses rose faster than taxes. So emperors turned to an old and dangerous trick: debasement, removing the silver from the coin. Raising taxes was risky and unpopular, so this was the easy option. But the consequences were huge. Under Augustus, the denarius was 95% silver. Under Caracalla, it dropped to 50%. By Gallienus, it was below 5%, just a bronze coin with a thin silver wash. People could see it and feel it. And the result was predictable. Inflation exploded. Once the money lost its real value, prices shot up. The days when a measure of wheat cost 1 denarius were gone. Now it took dozens. Life became chaotic. Soldiers demanded higher pay. Merchants refused the worthless coins. And people turned to gold or simple barter. The economy drifted backward because the currency had lost all trust. And like every inflation crisis in history, Rome tried to fix it by printing even more worthless money. A perfect, vicious cycle. The disaster peaked during the crisis of the 3rd century, 235-284 AD. Rome was hit by invasions, civil wars, plagues, and total economic collapse. Emperors came and went within months. Underneath all that chaos was a destroyed monetary system. Taxes were collected in coins that had no value. Farmers abandoned their land. Trade networks fell apart. The government tried everything: forced labor, price controls, strict regulations. Nothing worked. In 301, Emperor Diocletian tried to fix things with the edict on maximum prices, freezing prices on thousands of products. Breaking the rule meant death. And of course, it was a disaster. You can't stabilize prices when the money itself is collapsing. The black market exploded, legal trade died. Eventually, Rome abandoned the denarius entirely. Constantine introduced the gold solidus in 312, a stable, pure gold coin that lasted in Byzantium for centuries. But for the Western Empire, it was already too late. When money collapses, the economy collapses. And when the economy collapses, empires fall. So what does this story tell us today? Simple. Destroy the money, destroy the empire. Rome thought it could fool people. Modern governments think the same. They print money, inflate debt away, manipulate interest rates while pretending nothing is wrong. But the result is always the same. People get poorer. Wealth disappears. Trust collapses. Every major inflation crisis follows the same script. The state ruins the money. Elites protect themselves. And ordinary people suffer. Weimar Germany is a classic example. To pay war debts, the government printed money nonstop. By 1923, hyperinflation exploded. Bread cost 200 billion marks. People carried salaries in wheelbarrows. Money became meaningless, and the economic chaos opened the door to political disaster. Zimbabwe in 2008, same story. Hyperinflation reached 89.7 sextillion%. The national currency simply died. And it's not just failed states. Even developed economies show the same pattern. In 1971, the US dollar was disconnected from gold. From that moment on, the dollar became pure fiat, backed only by trust. Debt exploded. The money supply ballooned. Inflation became a constant shadow. What $1 bought in 1971 now costs more than $6. Same paper, hollowed out value. Governments love to portray inflation as growth. Wages go up, but prices go up faster. The stock market rises, but most people don't own stocks. Just like Roman emperors, leaders today say everything is fine, while quietly draining value from every paycheck and every savings account. What makes today more dangerous is this. It's global. Rome's collapse was local. Weimar's collapse was national. Zimbabwe's collapse was regional. But today, the entire world runs on similar fiat money and similar debt-driven policies. A crisis in one place can spread everywhere. And the people hit the hardest: workers, retirees, savers, ordinary citizens. So the lessons from this story are crystal clear. 1. Inflation isn't an accident, it's a policy, a silent tax used for thousands of years. 2. Real wealth isn't paper money, it's land, skills, productive businesses, resources, things that hold value even when money doesn't. 3. Never assume stability will last. A Roman in the first century couldn't imagine worthless coins. A German in 1913 couldn't imagine wheelbarrows full of cash. A Zimbabwean in 1980 couldn't imagine billion% inflation. But they all lived it. Rome's collapse shows one thing clearly. Economic systems decay slowly and then all at once. When money loses value, society unravels. Contracts break, trade stops, armies fall apart, governments lose legitimacy. The barbarians only delivered the final blow. The real collapse started in the treasury. And here's the truth. History doesn't repeat exactly, but if you don't understand it, it crushes you. If this gave you a new perspective, don't forget to follow. History holds the answers, and I'll show you exactly where to find them.